Cairo 7 uncovers dozens of violent assaults on board Metro buses, most often directed at drivers.
They spit on us, they kick us, they punch us.
Tonight, 3 years after King County promised to increase safety by investing millions in onboard surveillance, only Cairo 7 has visual evidence of how dangerous those buses still are. Boy, here is some of it right now. 91% of coaches are now outfitted with surveillance cameras. But as these images clearly show, their presence does not guarantee a safe ride.
So tonight, Cairo 7 wants to know what King County will do now to improve safety. And drivers asked Amy Clancy to get those answers.
Metro surveillance videos are a matter of public record. So we now have the ability to see whether cameras are making King County buses more safe. We filed a public disclosure request back in December, and the dozens of videos we received show an alarming amount of violence in less than 2 years. Steve Boots didn't know he'd have to fight for his life April 7th, 2018.
Are you really gonna stand here?
But that was the day a bus passenger armed with a knife attacked the 10-year Metro driver.
I had no idea this woman was coming out with a knife. I just tried to keep my feet in front of her so she didn't have a chance to cut my arteries.
Do you think she was trying to kill you?
That was my impression at the time.
Chris Johnson knows the feeling.
I've had a gun pointed at me, the trigger pulled several times. I've had a knife held to my neck.
Johnson, who drove a bus for 10 years, no longer does. Boots, however, still works for Metro as an electrician, but won't ever get behind the wheel of a King County bus again because of the time he was nearly stabbed. And because of other incidents revealed in videos obtained by Cairo 7 that clearly show how drivers are verbally harassed, spat at, assaulted. And both Boots and Johnson are frustrated by what they perceive as a lack of consequences for violence against drivers. Even though it's clearly posted on board buses that any act of violence against a bus driver is a felony.
The King County prosecutor elected not to pursue this as a felony, knocked it down to a gross misdemeanor and gave her counseling. I was just not assault with a deadly weapon.
That was a knife, man.
You cut her loose, what happens to the next person? What if they're not as lucky as I was?
Since being released from jail and ordered to counseling, Boots' attacker was arrested again this past July for possessing a stolen firearm and again released from jail.
I was scared.
Johnson believes the man who held a knife to his throat also got off easy.
He got 7 months for that. He should have gotten years because I still have nightmares from it.
You like me, man?
According to King County records, in the past 10 years, nearly 230 assault-related injury claims have been filed against Metro by drivers, leading to taxpayer-funded payouts of more than $2.5 million.
It happens regularly.
Ken Price is president of King County Metro Drivers Union, ATU 587.
Once a week at least, maybe daily, someone is assaulted. Our drivers tend to sometimes not even report it because it's pretty common.
The videos received by Cairo 7 represent only reported assaults, including this incident from June of this year. A passenger threatened to blow up a Metro coach in downtown Seattle and shoot its driver. The suspect was arrested, charged with harassment, but was released from jail.
I've had multiple gun incidences on my bus.
And it doesn't surprise Price at all that the suspect in this case is identified in police documents as homeless.
You can be a rolling hotel out there.
According to the Drivers Union president, there's been a noticeable uptick in homeless, substance abusing, and mentally ill passengers on board Metro buses in recent years. Riders have noticed too.
Open alcohol use, things like that, and drug use.
I have had a friend who had an experience where a gun was pulled by a mentally ill person on the bus.
It's just the drunk ones, you know, and the real, like, mentally ill ones that are dangerous. But it's very uncomfortable because I'm having to pay $2.75 to get on this E-line, and then they don't pay anything, they bring a crime. And then no one does anything about it at all.
Price and Boots say King County won't let drivers demand payment, and claimed the current violence is the result.
A great many people don't pay. I'll say my thumbnail estimation is fully half of the passengers that I would pick up during a date didn't pay. If you have an altercation with somebody over a fare dispute, you are subject to termination. That's policy.
There are catering to the homeless and the substance abuse folks out there, and we're having to deal with it with no training to deal with substance abuse.
Price would like to see his drivers trained not only how to deal with the mentally ill and substance abusers, but also in de-escalation techniques. He also wants each Metro bus installed with a driver's shield like those Pierce Transit is currently adding. King County has been exploring the idea for 10 years, but Terry White, Metro's deputy general manager, said none of the shield options tested so far have been good enough.
We don't want to just put something in, find out we did the wrong thing, and now we've costed the system, and we got to pull it out.
White told Cairo 7, even though ridership and miles traveled are up, assaults on drivers are actually down. 82 last year, down from 181 assaults in 2008. What's different now, those attacks are captured on camera.
Is Metro considering any changes because of what you've seen in those videos?
So on a regular basis, even though we're proud of our safety record, we're not resting on that. We're always constantly looking to improve our system safety.
But not soon enough for Steve Boots, who believes the public has a right to see what some Metro drivers and passengers experience.
I wouldn't have my loved ones riding in that environment. It's not safe.
The union president and both drivers told me they can be fired for leaving their seats, even to fend off an attack. So I asked Terry White about that, and he said no. If a driver has to leave his or her seat in self-defense, they will not be fired.
I got it. That's just unbelievable
Yeah.
to look at that video. What made you want to file for the video in the first place?
We weren't going looking for this. We got a tip about something that a rider said had happened on board a bus, so we filed a public disclosure request, and these were the videos that we got. Now, what we received didn't support what that tipster claimed, but did reveal a lot of very alarming and dangerous behavior. And we clearly saw that passengers are also at risk. However, I was surprised to learn that bus riders cannot rely on drivers to keep them safe. I'll show you why later this week as our investigative coverage continues.
This is just stunning to see this video. I imagine it was like that when you were looking through it. And thankfully, you're looking into this for both the drivers and the passengers.
It is a matter of public record, and it's a matter of public safety. And the driver, Steve Boots, spoke to us in his Metro uniform, and I asked him, are you concerned about retaliation? He said, yes, I'm concerned, but I'm so angry I want to speak out. And so he did.
He has
It's
a right to be
before. Yeah.
Amy, thank you.
Mhm.